It is Thursday the 10th. We started yesterday way at the very end, and there's a remote camp, and the only way to get to it is you fly in, and this guy's been flying in and out with his seaplane landing here. I'm not sure if they're dropping off guests or if he's just flying back and forth to his house, but what a spot. So last night we camped. Let me move over here. We camped right on the shoreline, right over here. And we went swimming, did our laundry. It was about 50 feet off the water, up on this little knoll. It was beautiful, really, really beautiful. So the path, the trail here, the AT, takes us right along this lake, this little beach again. So we're working our way around this lake. It's long. This freaking lake just goes on and on and on. I'm going out here to the corner here to see how far. There's the end of it right there. Okay. So I believe the AT, arrow, this way I gotta follow the arrows, but there's the end of the lake right there. This is a nice little camping area here too. You could camp right here on this beach. This is beautiful. So, let me head back in. We got 13 miles to do today. We got storms rolling in at between 1 and 2 o'clock, so we're on a quest to get to our campsite. We got a food drop tomorrow. We arranged with the shuttle to bring us our food for the next 5 days. Here we go. Good morning trail. We are hitting it. Okay. On the way, the shuttle driver on the way to where we're having our food drop, which is at Joe Mary Road. They have to go by a Dunkin' Donuts, so everybody in our group, not everybody, most of us, we all put in an order for Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. So we're going to be in a 100-mile wilderness having Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Can you believe that shit? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then we also ordered, with our already pre-packaged resupply boxes that are waiting for them to bring us. They said if you need anything else, let them know, and they would get it for us. So one of them needs a fresh bottle of ibuprofen, and all of us are having 2 bottles of Gatorade shipped in too, and then a case of cold Coors beer. So we are going to have a party tomorrow night in the middle of the 100-mile wilderness. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right, folks, I gotta put this away because look what I gotta go over, and I need all hands on deck here. Just coming back from a call. What I mean by that is I'm set up at the shelter down here, lean-to, Nada, Holler, Toga, something like that, lean-to. And we're basically 7.5 miles north of Joe Mary Road, where we're supposed to meet our shuttle driver tomorrow to do a food drop. And I was supposed to call them today, Thursday, to arrange a time. Well, like fate is, obviously, there was no service at this shelter. So it's like, oh great. They have no idea what time to come out here with our food. So and it started raining just as I got here to the shelter. So I set up my tent, threw everything in the pack, and then proceeded to try to find a signal somewhere. So the rain let up, the sun came out. So basically what I did is I had one hiker, Melissa, showed up. So I told her I was going to try to find a signal. I'd be back in an hour, which was like 2 hours ago. And I grabbed my InReach, a headlamp, a bottle of water, and my rain poncho. And I took off for the trail. And I headed south because the trail goes up over a substantial hill. And coming from the north, I know that was all lowland, and there was just nothing in the lowland. So I figured my best option was to go up. So I did. I climbed up And I got to the top of this hill and I had service, so I called them. We got it all arranged. They're going to be at our destination at 11:30 tomorrow morning. And now I got to spring the news to these people that they have an option. Either we continue on 3 miles to Antlers campsite, which would leave us 4 miles tomorrow morning, or they need to be on the trail at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and be at the drop-off at 11:30. So this should be interesting. Let's see how many take. I think I'm going to pack up. It's 3 o'clock right now. Actually, it's 3:10, and I'm still walking down the trail here to the campsite at the bottom of this hill, or mini mountain, whatever they want to call it. I'm moving on to Antlers because I don't feel like getting on the trail at 6 a.m. and trying to do 2 miles an hour. I just don't want to do it. And plus they're saying 80% chance of rain tomorrow, so that means that things are going to be slick. And when you're rushing like that, you're increasing the odds for something to happen. So I'm playing the odds on reducing that. So I think I'm going to move on. They don't know it yet. I gotta break it to them and then give them the option to follow or be early, get on the trail, like I said, at 6 a.m. So we'll see what they decide to do. We lost one member. Brett from Ohio is off the trail. I knew he was getting off. He wasn't having fun. He was complaining about the mud. Sorry, Brett, but that's New England. New England is muddy and rocky. And Rudy, nothing I can do about it. That's just the way it is. And he called. Actually, he left us yesterday. He continued on. And he left a message, which was nice of him. Thank you. He left a message for me in this hostel in the hiker journal. That he had called Shaw's earlier today and made an arrangement to get picked up. And when I call Shaw's, our hostel people, shuttle people, out of Munson, super people. I mean, anybody doing this trail, if you need anything, use Shaw's. They are the greatest people, super nice. Anyway, they had already picked him up, and the shuttle driver was already back at the hostel. So he's been taken care of. He's on his way back now, I presume, back to Ohio. And we still got to deal with Stuart. Stuart's having issues. He's got a virus or something that's settled in his lungs, and he's having trouble breathing. I don't know what to do with him. I may send him home tomorrow because I don't want him doing 4,000 footers if he can't breathe. He's having trouble now on these 500-foot hills that we're going over, so I'm going to talk to him, and he may be on the ride home tomorrow. That'll be a last minute. Well, that'll be a decision he's going to make, but I'm going to try to sway him one way or the other. And then the rest of them, Craig, he's got joint issues. His knees are killing him because of all the downs, but that's just normal. And then Wayne, he's got knee issues too. In fact, in his resupply, he's got a whole new bottle of ibuprofen coming because he's already used one bottle already, so that's not good. And then it leaves 3 of us that seem to be doing okay. Myself, Melissa, and Liz. Liz and I are eating this right up. I mean, we are like little kids in a candy store. We are just loving this trail. I mean, this is great. I'm coming back. I just got off the phone with my wife, and she can do this section from A-Ball Bridge to Joe Mary Road. No, it's basically flat. A couple of hills here and there, but I mean, it's nothing. So I already told her next August we're coming back, and I'm bringing my fly rod. We were up against this river all day today, and you kept coming up to these little, after the rapids, you'd come up to these dead, quiet pools, and I know there was fish in there. I know there were, trout in there, and so next year I'm gonna be ready for them. Like I said the other night, a guy caught one, had it for dinner at the shelter. He put it in a, actually I don't know how he cooked it, but he had a trout that he caught on his little rod, and he had it for dinner out here on the trail. So I know they're there. So that's the update. When you guys see all this, though, it will be after the fact, but it just gives you a heads up for what can happen out here. This 100-mile wilderness is not really that remote. They build it up to be really remote, but you can get food drops. There's a seaplane that lands in the lakes up here. If you need to be hauled out of here, the seaplane comes down, it lands in a lake, you get in it, and they fly you off. I mean, there are lakes every mile. So, and as long as you have Verizon, usually on every hill, you'll get service. Obviously today, for some, just fate the way things go, it happens that this shelter was in a hole and there was just no service. But the 100-mile wilderness isn't really that. It's wilderness, but it's not that remote from civilization. Believe me, people. I all these YouTubes and all these stories had me like, oh shit, I'm scared. I don't know if I can do it. And in the mud, I'm going to be up my waist in mud. They have planks everywhere. That may have been years ago, but now over all the bogs, or most of the deep bogs, they have all these planks that you walk. So the days of trudging through bogs are gone. At least for now, unless something happens to those bridges and those walkways. But yeah, we were into this thing almost 40 miles now, and we still have 60 to go, but so far, this is supposed to be the most remote, is the furthest north you go. It doesn't seem to be that bad. So anyway, this is more information for you people who are thinking about coming up this way. It's, you can see the trail I'm going down, although this isn't really typical of what is out here, but this is probably a third of the conditions of the trail. So then you have a third of roots, then you have a third of climbing rocks and stuff that you got to climb up. So a lot of stairs. They put a lot of man hours into this trail. A lot of rock stairs. I just cannot believe how much man hours they put in here. A lot of these hills, you're just going up steps, rock steps. Pretty nice. All right, where am I here? I should be getting pretty close. Jeez. Well, I did walk a ways to get up this hill, but so that's a recap. I've been going along too long here. It's almost 11-minute rant here. Hopefully this information helps you people. Highly recommend Shaw's. They are probably one of the best services that I've used so far in the South and up here in New England. Haven't used any services in the Mid-Atlantic. I haven't done that area yet. But if you're up here in New England, definitely in Maine especially, check out Shaw's. They seem to bend over backwards to do whatever they have to do to please you, and that's pretty rare today. Hopefully they don't lose that train of thought. Okay, I see the roof of the privy. I will, while I have you, I might as well take you over here to see this thing. It's gorgeous. I'm going to come in the back way. This trail goes all the way down to the spring. It's the largest natural spring on the AT, and it's probably 10 feet in diameter. It's just bubbling right out of the ground, and it is so pure. The water is so clean coming up. I'll show you that tomorrow when I get down there. But this is an old privy. They got a padlock on it. I don't know why. And then this is the brand new one that they just built. In fact, if there was a storm, I'd stay in this instead of the shelter. This thing is beautiful. Brand spanking new. I can even smell the new wood. Look at this place. It's ADA. You got, if you have issues here, you got grab bars, stainless steel hopper. I mean, this is supposed to be the wilderness. This place is beautiful. Let me lock this. Oh, come on, get in there. Yeah, this place is unbelievable. So, all right, I see Wayne made it. All right, we got Wayne is here, Liz is here. I don't see Scotty. I mean, not Scotty, excuse me, Stuart. And I don't see Craig. All right, I got to break the news to these people. This isn't going to be pretty. I'm going to have to shut this off. All right. All right. So, getting back to you on our group decision here on our dilemma on the resupplying. I broke the news, gave them the option, the two options that I mentioned. And Craig wasn't happy. He was very disappointed. But the only option we had, well, I gave him the two options. He could have stayed, but he'd have to be on the trail at 6 a.m. He didn't want to do that, so he's going to pick up. We all, by the time I got back, as you saw, they all were all set up. All the tents were set up. Stuart's hammock was set up. In fact, there he is right behind me. Where is he? I lost him. He was right behind me. Stuart picked up in record-breaking time, and him and I are hitting the trail together to Antlers. We're heading to Antlers camping area, which is 3 miles south of where we are now. So we'll only have a 4.5 mile walk in the morning instead of a 7.5. The rest of them, they all put it up for vote. We had a group vote, excluding Stuart. I mean, not Stuart, Craig, because he was down getting water. Majority was to pack up and do the 3 miles now. So that's what we're doing. I packed up, and everybody else will be along shortly. It's 4 o'clock now, so basically a 2 hour, for them will be a 2 hour hike to do the 3 miles. But I think it's the right move. We have thunderstorms and heavy rain tomorrow, so at least we've eliminated 3 miles of wet rocks and roots, because we got to be there. They're going to be there at 11:30. So, and then the next shelter from there south, it's like 4 miles. So, if we had to, if the storms are bad, we're only 4 miles from the next shelter. Not a real long day. So that'll work out. So I thought I'd get back to you, tell you what the outcome was and what our decision is. And when we get to Antlers, I'll take a picture. How's my battery doing? 57%. I was able to charge it up last night. So I get a little more power today to play than what I did yesterday. So I'll take a picture of antlers. I've gotten a couple of rave reviews about this campsite. People saying how nice it was, how they stayed there, they loved it. So we'll check it out. We'll see what it's like. Alright. Still climbing this mountain for the second time today. This time with a pack on. Last time I didn't have a pack. I just came up here looking for a signal. Whew. Big difference with a pack, let me tell you. I gotta get my weight down to nothing somehow. If I didn't have a pack, boy, I could really do some miles. Oh, shit. Alright. So that was a decision. Get back to you all later.